All right, everybody, welcome to another great match on Watchpoint Alpha. Right now, we have Scandals versus the Junkertown Jewels, both teams that have been on our server for quite some time. This is definitely not the first tournament of either of these teams, so this is going to be an extremely exciting matchup. A little bit of a chance for redemption as well. I believe that the Scandals and Jewels competed in the tournament a couple of seasons ago, I guess, and they had a pretty intense matchup, so they get to go against each other again. Really excited to see how this one turns out. My name is Bantoinette, and I am joined by TofuOfHell.
How's it going?
We are the world's cutest casting duo. We are super excited to be here. All right, so Scandals and Junkertown Jewels, both teams that have been around for a while. What do you think that we're going to expect with this matchup?
If there's anything to take away from the first time they competed against each other in, I believe, the Season 1 Watchpoint Alpha tournament, they're pretty evenly matched. So look out for very close games. I'm looking forward to going down to the tiebreaker map 5, and let's see what they can do.
Yeah, we have not had a map 5 yet. We only have, we've had 2 3-0s so far in the tournament. So we have not had a map 5. I would love to see this one go that far, have more than like a 45-minute map series to cast. All right, so right now we are waiting for both teams to say that they are ready, and then we will get this underway. Our first map is going to be Hanamura, and we are going there right now. 2CP. Either the favorite map or the least favorite map. There is no in between. 2CP can be quite awful, or it can always be hotly contested, so I am extremely excited to see this. Knowing the Junkertown Jewels, because you did used to be on the team, and knowing the Scandals just from seeing them on the server for a long time, what do you think these teams are going to bring?
The Jewels do like running both the quad DPS. Well, I shouldn't say quad DPS. They run a triple DPS with a Zenyatta as a healer. They also run goats, so I would say keep an eye out for both of them. Scoot is probably going to be on that ball, the wrecking ball, and he does add a lot of disruption, so I look forward to that. As far as Scandals go, Nito Burrito has some crazy bombs for his diva, and I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to have the bunker for Scandals, a little bit of a different bunker than we've been seeing. We're going to have the Sombra as the second DPS here. It looks like Tantaku is not on the Doomfist, surprisingly, but we are going to see a 3-2-1 comp from the Junkertown Jewels, as you said. Scoot goes in to scout a little bit, sees that they are a bunker, waits for his team. They're taking their time getting themselves set up, as they should. It's important to not get picked off here. Looks like Scoot is taking a bit of a long flank here. Looks like he's going to want to go around. He's going straight onto the point, so they're going to have to contest. Somber goes to contest him. Scoot does get hacked. Meanwhile, Misdemeanor on the Hanzo does get hooked by Nito Burrito and goes down. Scarecrow going after Scoot right now, who is being pushed over to the side. He is going to go down to a melee, and the Scandals will reestablish themselves in this bunker.
Similar to the last match we watched, the quad DPS is kind of hard to break the bunker with because of just how tight they can play, and the angles that need to be taken for quad DPS. So maybe dive is the answer, I don't know, but it's definitely going to be a tough push for the Jewels.
It is, and you can see that Tantaku did get a good concussion blast on them, but unfortunately the team was not really there to follow up. We can see that Grobat is over on the flank right now, sort of 1v1ing this Sombra, but unfortunately she is hacked. Looks like the Junkertown Jewels are slowly going in through the door when Scandals are distracted with their bunker. So we do have 3 Jewels right now sort of battling this Sombra, and it looks like Tantaku on the Pharah is going to get behind the bunker, but Icarus on that Bastion takes out both Scoot and Tantaku, sort of ruining their push here. Arch Emblem is going to go down as well. The Valkyrie not popped yet. She was just flying, but it looks like we have 4 ults on the side of the Scandals right now. So even if the Jewels are able to get in and reestablish themselves, they're sort of at a disadvantage, and now they are going to have 4 ultimates up on the board soon, which will certainly help them. But this is definitely going to be a hard thing to push. And now Tantaku right now, taken out by the Bastion, he was sort of spamming down that shield. I think that this sort of just spamming down the shield and hoping to get a pick is not really going to be useful here for the Jewels.
Oh, huge
It looks like, yeah, and it looks like we do get the shield put on the ground instead of on the high ground, so this is sort of Jewel's chance to get in. Unfortunately, they are not totally capitalizing yet, but the Sombra does go down, which is huge, considering the value of that EMP. Tantaku's barrage comes out and says Misdemeanor's Dragons, and this takes down the rest of Scandals, so Jewels are going to cap. Even though we did see 2 ultimates used and possibly a slight overcommitment, the Jewels still do have 4 ultimates on the board for this next fight. And because of the swaps coming out from Scandals, they are at an advantage, so it is likely that the Jewels are going to be able to snowball here. They do have the MP though, so this could easily ruin their time. I'll have to be really careful about this Sombra.
So keep in mind, Icarus is actually, never mind, swapping from the Widow to a Symmetra. Wonder how that'll play out.
Interesting choice. Wonder if they're going to try to do something similar to what the Ramen Renegade did, where they had that teleporter. So the EMP does come out for Scarecrow. It does hex Scoot and Brobat, but input names Transcendence keeps them alive. Brobat is going to pop that Tactical Visor, take Scarecrow out. Right now there are more Jewels on the point, but Gazor Preserve takes out input name and Brobat goes down to one of Symmetra's turrets. So they are going to have to get out here. Scoot's trying to roll away. Misdemeanor trying to get out on that Hanzo, but unfortunately she is taken out by Icarus on the Symmetra. Scarecrow takes out Tantaku on his main, the Doomfist.
I guess the issue about the triple DPS is that it's hard to really clean up, especially since the ultimates are more solo-ish ultimates, so they use it whenever they find an opportunity, and that doesn't help clean anything up.
Yeah, and we can see that the Scandals do, or not the Scandals, the Jewels do adjust here, and they go immediately to that Goats with an Ana. They're going to have a lot of healing to make up for the damage that's going to be coming out from heroes like the Mei and the Zarya. Shatter does come out, and there's a huge follow-up. The Anane taking out both of the healers. The team just absolutely gets wiped. Not until Tantaku punches the Nacho to death, though. Gets a little bit of revenge there. So it looks like we are going to have sort of a goats v goats type situation here. Only, I guess it's a 2-2-2. But we do have the Symmetra with the wall, and it looks like the turrets on the high ground there, but Jewels are going to be going in up through main, which is going to help them out a lot. There is a turret on the point. Wall does come out. This is going to make it very hard for for input on the Ana. If they go to the wrong side of the wall, we can see that Scoot, Input, and Misdemeanor are taken out very quickly here. Arch does take out Gazorpazor, but it is going to be in vain. Unfortunately, there are no ultimates on the board right now, except potentially a Diva Bomb for the Junkertown Jewels. Nita Burrito still does have his grab, and Scarecrow is going to get their Mei ult very soon as well.
I do want to say that the Jewels should probably be playing to just poke or bait out some of the ultimates from Scandals, because they're just so far behind in that ult economy.
Yeah, they are, and these full committed pushes are sort of making things difficult because it does shave off a lot of time.
And then Tantaku is going to the Reaper, which maybe works in a close corridor, but they also have the Mei.
Right. Now they are going to be grabbed here, and there's going to be follow-up from the Scandals. 4 or 5 of them down, and it's going to be a full team wipe here. Absolutely huge Graviton surge. I don't think that they were ready for that. I think that they sort of didn't have the communication there, sort of tracking the ultimates, because they were grouped very closely and allowed Nita Burrito to sort of take a really huge grab there. It looks like we are running a 2-2-2 comp on the side of the Jewels now, so they may potentially do well here. Scoot pushing in, but unfortunately a lot of them are walled off. They are going to have to contest later, which could put them at a disadvantage here. Scoot does shatter, and he gets... Well, his Orbisorb gets slapped. Unfortunately, Scoot goes down, but Scarecrow does too, and this might be huge, especially since they don't have that Blizzard anymore. But Input and Tantaku do go down, one to the Shatter, one to the Natra. Icarus getting their revenge and taking the rest of the Jewels out of the game. There will likely only be one more fight here. Scoot did switch to the ball to try to touch the point, but unfortunately they are not going to have any ultimates immediately on the board. They will have the grab dragon combo, but they are going to have to sort of engage before they're going to be able to get that grab. Now Scoot does touch the point. Tantaku dangerously low, he is taken down. Nobody's on the point though with that Mei ult. Brobat gets in, the dragons come through, but there is no grab to follow up, so they do not get any kills. Misdemeanor's gonna need to touch, and she does, but she's taken out immediately. Arch Emblem's still on the point, but taken out as well. The shield comes out for Icarus. It is not going to be needed though. And the Scandals are gonna full hold here.
That was a dirty play with the Mei and the Symmetra. Both the turrets and just Mei's freezing ability that slows down the enemy team so much they can't do anything.
Yeah, pretty much. It's unfortunately a really hard comp to play against. And I think there was just a little bit of a sort of, I mean, it looked like the Jewels were going in together pretty well, but I think that they were not really aware necessarily of some of the ultimates that were coming on the board. Unfortunately, it just took them a while to get those pushes together, and a lot of them would get picked off very early on, which means that at that point it's pretty much a lost fight. But I think that this is mostly just a testament to the Scandals rather than a knock on the Jewels. I think the Jewels are very, they can be a very coordinated team, but the Scandals have shown us time and time again that they have really, really good communication. And they've been around for a while, so the sort of growing pains of communication that you see with a lot of newer teams does not apply to them. So they're coming in with a lot of experience. Looks like we are going to see an interesting bunker comp for the Junkertown Jewels here. I like how they have the Diva in this bunker instead of the Roadhog. Sort of.
Well, I think that's either a pro or a con, right? The Diva can eat a lot of the damage, but with the Roadhog, there's just so much more damage output.
Yeah. And
self-sustain, so then the Mercy and Baptiste don't have to worry about protecting the Roadhog as opposed to the Diva.
Right, that's true. I wonder how much of that is a comfort pick as well. I don't know how much Brobat plays the Roadhog. But it looks like Zorbasorb is taken out immediately by Misdemeanor. That's going to put them at a disadvantage already, but they're still going to poke for ultimates here. Brobat is taken out of mech though, which like you said, maybe sort of because there's not as much sustain. Tantaku is frozen, but that Immortality Shield keeping him up. Scarecrow is going to wall to sort of help the team, but huge anti coming out. Unfortunately, not too much of a follow-up. Jewels are still potentially going to win this, but it is sort of a back and forth. And the next pick really sort of defines who's winning here. Looks like Scoot does take out Gazorpasorp here. Nita Burrito takes out Scoot though, and this is potentially going to be a lost fight unless those respawns get in. Brobat's alone on the point with a bunch of the Scandals now, so it looks like Scandals are going to be able to cap this after a very strange fight. That was a weird pace.
That was actually a pretty quick first point take. I do think that given that there is Sebastian, there's just so much space being allowed for Scandals to take.
Yeah, and it was sort of a weird rhythm to it too. I think that the Jules were sort of assuming that they would back up a little bit and they were just poking for ultimates. But then they got some key picks, and the Scandals should be complimented on their ability to realize when the fight could be won and sort of commit to it. They are going to teleport on top of the archway and get behind Tantaku, trying to shatter. Unfortunately, the shatter does not work, but Scarecrow's May ult comes out, freezes a lot of the jewels in place, making it easy to get that damage out. Scoots alone on the point, and he is going to be taken down by Gazorpazorp. That is going to be an extremely quick cap for the Scandals. Scandals 1, Junkertown Jewels 0.
I really like the way that the Scandals used their sim and the TP to move over to that platform above the Bastion and just drop on top of him. Bastion can't do anything if everyone's kind of overwhelming him at the same time. And with bunker comp, the idea is to prevent the enemy team from closing in that distance. So the second they close in that distance, what happens? They just get overrun with the damage.
Yeah, and that was a really sort of really crazy angle to take there with that sim shield. I don't think that the Jules were expecting that. I think they were sort of expecting poking from high ground. So the way that they were set up was they just were not in a place where they could easily react to that really weird angle that they took when they got behind. I don't think that they were prepared, and that would be, even if they were, I think that would be really hard to contest. All right, so Hanamura is done, and our next map here is going to be Eichenwald. So, for Eichenwald, what do you think we're going to see here?
Eichenwald, I can see more goats being played, especially by the Junkertown Jewels. As far as Scandals go, I think maybe first point defense will be bunker comp, like they were running. May not be played, so I would say not as hopeful for that. And the Symmetra, although I like seeing a Symmetra in these tournaments, I don't think that's going to happen so much. So it may end up being a Goats v Goats or a dive, something of that variant. Nothing too crazy.
One thing that I've always loved about the Scandals is they are not afraid to play picks like Torb. Earlier, they even said during one of the conversations in our Discord server, they said something about how we need to be ready for some Torb. Eichenwald can be a pretty good Torb map, so I'm hopeful. I would love to see some sort of modified Torb bunker comp. I don't think we've seen Torb yet in this tournament, unless it's just an absolute meme.
I mean, don't we want the Swedish engineer?
Always. Get some nano Torb in there, just run people down with this hammer.
Oh.
He's the new Reinhardt.
I mean, also getting that play of the game with just the turret. You know, you die in spawn.
You die off the map, and you just sort of there's one where the Torb's body is just falling off of the map, and the turret just keeps going. Gazorpazorp's complaining in our Twitch chat about how he wanted to run Torb Doom, so maybe we are going to be lucky this time around and see something like that.
Well, actually, Eichenwald does give a lot of space for Doomfist to really shine. And maybe that'll be run. And then on first point, bunker comp with Torb is actually viable. So maybe we'll see more of that as well. Especially since Scandals is notorious for running the Torbjorn.
All right, so it looks like Birdie is going to be coming in here. Looks like Ms. Demeanor was taken out. We are getting Birdie, our resident widow. Although she does play other heroes as well.
Well, Birdie is a pretty good Sombra as well. She does play those hit scans. So McCree, Widowmaker, I believe some Soldier and Hanzo as well. but she is pretty scary on those characters, so I have to watch out.
Birdie is terrifying. Don't let that sweet facade fool you. But very excited to see her play. She is quite popular on our server. Muffin in the chat just screaming with excitement about seeing Birdie here.
Oh, we're getting that Torbjorn.
We're getting the Torbjorn. Oh my gosh, I hope that isn't a meme. Although, considering that they are
it's a meme.
Here,
it's a meme.
Damn.
We've been baited.
We've been baited. I'm honestly so disappointed right now.
I know. Why would you do us like that? Playing with our emotions.
Play Torb, you cowards! We are gonna get the Mei here, though, and the Symmetra. You even said, it's unlikely to see a Mei Symmetra, and yet here we are.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty excited for it.
Yes, and the Mei can be really good here. I think that unless the Jules are able to really commit and push in, they can easily get walled off and get very, very crucial picks. So, played correctly, the Mei can be really powerful, and it looks like Tentaku and Arch Emblem are already through. Scoot slamming down. Scoot just going super deep into their backline here. Tentaku flies up. He is hooked and taken down by Baptiste. Scoot is going to retreat here. Unfortunately, he is killed before he can get out. The rest of the Jules are going to go and hide, make sure that they don't get picked. It looks like Tentaku is swapping off the Pharah and going to a Reaper here.
Actually, I like that Pharah pick. They don't really have much to contest the Pharah outside of the Baptiste. And so if Tentaku took a wide flank, maybe that'll be a better idea, taking out both the Sim turrets and displacing the team, or distracting them.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the ability to kill the Sim turrets is extremely crucial, because those Sim turrets can wipe, for example, your Mercy or your Zen very easily. Also, Mei is very much countered by Pharah, so I'm sure that the Reaper will be fine, but the Pharah could be really powerful here, especially in close quarters with somebody as terrifying as Mei. Now, Scoot is rolling into the back here. It looks like he's going to try to go for some picks. Just sort of disrupting everybody. Sort of changing up their positioning. Immortality is down because of Brobat, but Brobat is taken out by Nina Burrito. He does not want Brobat on his point. Scarecrow takes down Scoot. Unfortunately, who could ever kill Scoot? Apparently Scarecrow can. The Immortality field is keeping the entire team alive as they just systematically destroy the Jules in that push. Unfortunately, the Jules do not have much time left on the bank. They have 2 minutes. They're going to have to really put a push together. They do have 3 ultimates here, but Scandals are about to have 3 ultimates as well. I do think that the Scandals potentially have... Oh, Arch jumping off the map, maybe? Is she swapping?
I don't think so.
Maybe just an accidental... Yeah, she's staying on that Mercy, which I think is a good pick here, especially with that Valk. Unfortunately, Brobat's taken out very early. Don't know if we're going to be able to get a res on that or not. Arch is taken out, so no, there's not going to be a res. It looks like there are turrets up at the front of this choke, and Icarus is sort of back there, destroying them. So, unfortunately, Jules are once again going to be disrupted. They only have a minute left here.
The Jules are playing very split, and they're kind of staggering when they're going in. I at least want to see them move in as a unit, and running the triple DPS with ball against this bunker comp. It's the same issue where it's really hard to really push in, especially since there's so much spam going at the choke.
Right. Yeah, and even though triple DPS isn't necessarily going to play as a tight-knit group like Goats, you still have to move in a coordinated push. And unfortunately, one of the problems I think that the Jules are running into, which a lot of teams see, is that, you know, there's some positional errors, or just pushing in too early, or other communication issues. And then that makes it so you get picked off way too early and then you never get a coordinated push in. Now Scoot does drop mines, which does take out Icarus and Scarecrow. This is very winnable for the Jules, but unfortunately Nita Burrito does take out both Brobat and Tantaku, and Meg is going to res Scarecrow. So unfortunately the Jules are not going to be able to cap at all here.
0-0. Switching sides.
Man.
Initiating match.
I do think that the Jules did have very slow adjustments. And by the time they did try to really focus in and push in, it was a little too late. Scandals had all their ults banked up, and it was really hard to really do much.
Yeah, and unfortunately this was an issue that we sort of saw with Apex Legends as well. And what the Anomalies also experienced yesterday is sometimes it's just, it's going to be really hard to figure out when to make those adjustments, especially if you have ultimates on the board. Having ultimates on the board makes it so you have to make the decision on whether your ultimate is going to be more impactful or your switch. And these are things that just don't always come naturally, and come naturally to very few people. They always come with practice. Given the fact that most of our teams are generally competing in their first tournament, or you know, not having a ton of tournament-related experience, making these swaps can be very difficult. I do think that the Jules needed to adjust a little bit more, maybe go on something more divey rather than the triple DPS. I think that the triple DPS is just not leaving a lot of the ability to sort of protect each other. Everybody's just sort of going in their own way, you know?
Yeah, I would agree, especially against a bunker. There's so much spam going on that it's just hard to deal with.
And it looks like that Scarecrow on the Sombra is going behind. She's going to place their translocator in the back on that castle. Does hack input name, but does not get a pick. Tantaku is going to take Nita Burrito out of the mech. Birdie takes out Icarus. Nita Burrito goes down to a fire strike. Icarus is going to be rezzed here. So the Scandals could potentially put a good push together. The Jules just have to be very careful to not get picked off, especially as we see Tantaku and Scoot sort of pushing up very far into their team. If the Scandals notice this, it's very easy for them to sort of take advantage of that. Luckily, both of them do back off here and sort of give the Scandals that space back. But Zorb is going to jump in, aided by Nita Burrito and Meg. Sinatra is going to be taken out by Tantaku, and Scarecrow gets down by input name. Sinatra is going to get rezzed here. So the Scandals are still sort of in this, but they do back off. That is going to leave 30 seconds before their next res, though, so if the Scandals keep getting picked like this, they could potentially be stalled out even more. About 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock here for them.
I honestly think that Scandals may be trying to just farm for EMP, and that may be the take, so input has to be playing very carefully there.
And it looks like Scoot is going to be hacked. Scarecrow's still working on getting that EMP, but that EMP is going to be a very powerful ultimate here. Tantaku does have Reaper ult. Scoot is going to shatter. Going to take Nita Burrito with him. Unsure if that is a good trade or not. Guess we'll find out.
Huge trans comes out.
Does come out. Yes, that is a huge trans to counter that EMP, which took a lot of the shields out, especially for Brobat. The grab does come out. Icarus and Gazorpazor trapped inside. Coalescence and the Reaper ult come out, and the Jules are going to stabilize, but now they have no ultimates on the board. They used all of them in that last fight. Granted, the Scandals only have the Symmetra ult, which is not necessarily going to be super impactful here because they don't have an Ana, so the Jules can play around it.
Another key thing is that Scoot is running the ball now, so then there is really not a big front line.
Right. Now Scarecrow does get taken out by Brobat, so the Scandals are going to have to be careful. Meg is able to revive them, but Icarus is taken out by Arch's sort of ball of death there. Scoot slamming the Scandals down. Zanatro's taken out by Tantaku. This may end up being a hold here. They only have a minute left. Birdie does send those dragons out. Does not get a pick, but does zone them and push them back. Gazorpazorp is taken out, but so is Tantaku.
Oh,
There's going to
Tantaku
be no
going
res
deep
for
there.
Tantaku. Yeah. He's working on it. Now Gazorpazorp is rezzed, and Tantaku's not going to be back, so Scandals is going to have to push here and take advantage of that. Tantaku almost back here. Scandals did not necessarily cap fast enough, but Birdie is taken out, and so is Input Name. Jules are going to have to fight really hard to get this. Arch Emblem does take out the Coalescence, keeping Brobat alive and putting some damage out. But the Scandals are not really getting damaged here. Brobat's taken out, and all of the Scandals are still full health, especially with that Valkyrie going to keep them alive. They are going to cap and take map 2. Scandals 2, Junkertown, Jules 0.
That was really unfortunate. I think the early pick onto Tantaku really gave Scandals that signal to really, just WM1 in. And I think another thing was that Input very close to trans when she died, so it was a really close one. If she had that trans going into it, maybe they would have been able to sustain long enough for Tantaku to get that Death Blossom and maybe secure the cleanup there.
Yeah, I would agree. And that one was really close, too. It honestly just came back to Scandals being able to capitalize. I think, given that the Jules did commit pretty much all of their ultimates to that fight right before the last one, it also sort of made it difficult for them to fully defend themselves. Because even though they had the sim wall, the Scandals were able to push in and just sort of overwhelm them. Had the Jules had more ultimate abilities on the board, they may have been able to sort of make up for the fact that Tantaku did get that early pick. But really good job by the Jules. We can see they're stabilizing a little bit more here.
Yeah, one thing I know is that kind of with the same thing as our team, we may warm up pretty slowly. So then it takes a map or two to really get our bearings. So I do think that this third map, Busan, is going to be close. Very close. And I look forward to the Jules taking this map.
Let's go for the reverse sweep here.
Reverse sweep?
Reverse
is it in the books? But the Scandals has been playing really well. Right, they have been playing their ults correctly, so they haven't been really burning ultimates when they shouldn't be. They coordinated their ults. Their Symmetra is poggers.
Their Symmetra is really scary. What is that? 2 Symmetra playing games in a row? I think we have an MVP in mind already.
Tofu.
So, yes, TofuOfHell, MVP forever. So the players are taking a very quick break at this sort of halfway point in this tournament. So we are going to have a couple of minutes of airtime too, Phil. So Tofu, we're obviously at sort of a weird spot in this tournament. Either the Scandals are going to win this map or the Junkertown Jules are going to win and stay alive in the tournament. What do the Jules have to do in order to win this next map here?
Realize what's working and what's not working. One thing is that they do enter each map staggered, or after they lose the first fight, I should say, they stagger themselves more and more each time. And another thing is that I don't really see them moving as a unit. So let's say Scoot is on the ball and they're playing the triple DPS. Scoot will enter the choke, but are they really coordinating the distraction, the disruption that Scoota's use is providing? I don't really see that. They kind of just trickle in one by one, and sometimes they stay at the choke even though Scoot is pulling the enemy team away. So I think tightening that up may be the key.
Yeah, and there were definitely a few times, for example, on that last push on Eichenwald, where Scoot was able to jump in. And he was able to, with his slam, he's able to get a lot of people in the air. He's able to disrupt a lot. Had the team been sort of moving with him, And following his calls, I think that they would have been able to capitalize on that ball a lot more, because the ball itself is not necessarily going to be the one securing the kills. A lot of times they're sort of moving in to enable their team. But we didn't necessarily see a lot of enabling coming from Scoot, because the team was not really there to follow up. Thankfully, it seems like Junkertown Jules does really want to play sort of these more DPS heavy comps, especially with people like Tantaku on that Doomfist. We all know how he feels about Doomfist. If our scrims are any indication, Busan is definitely a DPS heavy map.
Yeah, so I guess we can look forward towards the Jules running the triple DPS comp again with the Wrecking Ball. But I want to say that they should really try to play around what Scandals have been doing. You know, if Scandals run their, the sim, what's really gonna counter that, right? I think initially on Iconwall, the first fight, they ran the Pharah, and that Pharah would have been huge, just raining down the damage onto the Mei, forcing out maybe a wall to do that, forcing her to use her ice block. Then she wouldn't be as disruptive as she was, and taking out the sim turrets, right? Now sim wouldn't have all that ult charge. So it's kind of just a matter of how they can adjust to what Scandals are doing right now.
Yeah, the Pharah would have been really great there. Luckily, there is a lot of room to play the Pharah or even play the Doomfist. The downtown phase especially. Alright, it looks like both teams are ready. I am ignoring their match chat. I'm sure you guys will see it in a second, but it is disgusting. So it looks like we are going to get the downtown phase here first. I'm also ignoring our stream chat. It is just, what a community that we have built here. So this downtown map is going to create a lot of space for the DPS to, oh my god.
Calm down, Bant. Calm
Please
down.
help me, Tofu.
So I think for this map, like we saw in the previous round, Widowmaker is pretty strong with all the sightlines, so they may be running very DPS heavy comps. It seems like Scandals may be running a dive with the Widowmaker and Sombra. I'm not sure how much damage that'll be able to really clear up, especially since a combo with Ana Zen is very much of a glass cannon. So is Diva and Winston diving together? I'm not sure.
Yeah. It'll be really interesting to see that going into the Doomfist. Oh, it looks like Tantaku is going on Reaper instead of the Doomfist here. Very out of character for him, but we'll see how it works. Unfortunately, Brody is not on the Widowmaker, so we're not going to see any 1v1 Widow duels, but we're going to see if Icarus can sort of show that they're just as good on Widow as they are on Symmetra, and we see they take out input name almost immediately. Tantaku goes down to Gazorp absorbs jump. So right now, Scandals have a 2-man advantage here. Junkertown Jules go down, falling off the map, yeeting themselves off the cliff. Scarecrow also does, but translocates out. That is a mood and a half.
Maybe 2.
Just yes. Alright, so it looks like we are going to see some swaps on the Junkertown Jules. Input name on the Widow. Interesting choice. Able to take out Icarus. That Widow 1v1 being won by the Junkertown Jules here. Now they are going to have to capitalize on this. The Jules are going on the low ground to the point right now. Scandal's sort of kiting back a little bit, giving them that space. Tantaku takes Nita Burrito out of mech. Nita Burrito goes down. Scoot is hacked. Tantaku is taken out, but they are going to cap anyway. Scandals are going to have to get out of here. Sinatra is sort of in a weird spot. Tantaku goes up right now. Scandals do not have the numbers advantage, but they take Birdie out, so they could potentially win this fight, especially with Tantaku going down. Scarecrow is also really close to their EMP. That EMP is going to be extremely impactful against these heroes on the side of the Junkertown Jules. Sinatra taking out Arch and Icarus showing Input name who's boss in this 1v1 Widow. Input is going to go down as Scandals is able to recap the point. Right now having about twice as much capture percentage as the Junkertown Jewels do.
I think the Jewels are making really good adjustments. But against the dive, I think maybe, you know, just goats it.
Just goats it, exactly.
Because the sustain is just so much better.
Yeah, and look at that pick from Birdie on that Hanzo. This is a lot. This is giving a lot of room for the Jewels to come and cap. Brobat is going to take out that Tac Visor right here, taking out Scarecrow. Tentaku does go down by Icarus, however. Diva Bomb comes out, does not kill anybody, but Nito Burrito does get their mech back. Zanatra takes out Arch Emblem, and Gazorpazorb takes out Input Name. So unfortunately, the Jewels are not going to be able to cap here, and that was a very long fight, so they only have about 10 seconds left. Scoot is going to have to touch here on that ball. He's swinging around. Is he going to be able to touch? He is, and that EMP comes out. Birdie sends out the dragons, however. Gazorpazorb goes down to an arrow. The dragons do put out some damage, but do not secure any kills. Input Name takes out Scarecrow, but Brobat and Birdie are both down. Fortunately, Input Name and Arch Emblem both go down as well, and Scandals are going to take this first round.
Area denied.
Alright, well the Jewels did adjust a lot better there. We saw a lot of hero swaps, but unfortunately that also means that they didn't really have that many ultimates on the board. They only had a couple of fights where they even were able to use them.
I agree. Though Scandals did have their DPS pop off, so Icarus was getting those really valuable picks. Their tank lineup was really coordinated. They were diving on the targets together, and you know, they were just cleaning up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this goes down to the fact that, you know, the Scandals have been around as a team for a while, and they have really good coordination. Icarus on the Torb. Is it going to happen?
It's happening.
It's happening! Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Alright, we have a Torb. Now, Brobat is going to be on that Pharah, Tantako on that Soldier. This Torb turret could either be countered pretty heavily by the Pharah or make the Pharah's job hard. I think it depends on how the Pharah is going to be positioning. Looks like we are going to have some 1v1 Pharah duels as well. No more goats in here. We're playing actual comps now.
Are you sure these are actual comps?
These are actual comps.
Goats is the only comp alive.
Stop quoting Muffin. I know he's your e-girl and all, but come on. Scandals is going to be able to cap the point beforehand without many picks on the Jewels. The Jewels just didn't really push in. But Birdie and Input Name, who was on the Widow, take out 3 of the Scandals. So they are going to be able to cap here. Input's Widow is nasty. I am very impressed. Contesting on point by both of the balls right now.
I do have to say, though, this map may be their strongest map because of just the amount of angles each DPS can take.
Yeah, and the fact that the Jewels really do want to be running these triple DPS, and as we see right now, quad DPS comp. And they're doing a pretty good job of it. They take a lot of space here and take the right angles, so it's making it a little harder for the Scandals to push here. It looks like we are coming up on some ultimate abilities for the Scandals, though. We are going to have Valkyrie in a hot second, but Arch is going to get there soon, too. Tentaku does take out Icarus' turret. He is going to have to build a new one if he wants to start having more of an impact here. Now, we do have the Valkyrie on the side of the Scandals right now, and it is going to be popped, but Scarecrow is going to be taken out, especially really close to the EMP. That is a really big problem. We are going to get Tentaku's Tac Visor, but it does not get anybody. Torb had vomited on the point too, sort of zoning the Junkertown Jewels out. They are going
Torb.
to recap. Oh, Torb.
Why did you drink so much last night?
This is what happens when you drink too much of those, like, sort of flaming shots.
Oh, man.
You partied too hard. We do have the Scythe coming out by Input Name, sort of allowing the Jewels to be able to take their correct positioning. Like, if there's a picks right now, Scoot's coming up on his mines right now. Birdie has his dragon, or her dragons, my mistake. Scoot does take out Gazorpazorp in that hamster 1v1. The Jewels are going to have to capitalize on this. Mines come out and surround poor Icarus, who's taken out by Scoot, getting a point, but unfortunately 4 of them are hacked by that huge EMP. But there is not much of a follow-up. The dragons do come out, but birdies come out too and take out Scarecrow. And May, looks like the Scandals are going to be absolutely wiped by the Jewels here, and the Jewels are going to be able to recap.
Birdie really popping off there, taking out 3 people.
Huge
taking out
dragons.
the huge dragons, and then also taking out the Hanzo with a little pot shot. But that was huge.
Yeah. Alright, well we are going to have the Tac Visor and the Valkyrie and almost the Barrage coming out for Junkertown Jewels. Scandals only have the Barrage here. They are going to have the Valkyrie soon though, but if she dies, then they're not going to have it for this fight. But they're going to have to hurry. They only have about 2 more fights here, and Icarus is already taken out. Tentaku's Visor does come out, not securing any kills yet, but it does sort of zone them out, put some damage out. Nina Burrito's Barrage does take out 2, but the Jewels recontest, and they're able to not only get the res, but also kill 3 of the Scandals and secure their hold of this point. This is going to be a last-second attempt to cap for the Scandals. So the Jewels are going to have to sort of give it everything they've got. They've got about 3 ultimates coming up on the board. Meg going to go in and touch. And she does. Mines come out from Scoot. Robat's Barrage comes out. 2 of the Scandals, or 1 of the Scandals, sorry, is already down, but 2 of the Jewels go down, and that res makes this fight more uneven. Scarecrow is taken out by input name. Arch is able to res Birdie, but Scoot goes down almost immediately after, and so does Arch. Scandals are able to retake, so the Jewels are going to have to establish themselves here really quickly and touch the point.
That'll be tough with this lineup, especially since Sinatra has that Bob, and running this quad DPS into a Bob, that's going to be hard. Like,
it's
really
difficult, and Brobat's taken out by Icarus already, so they're going in with an uneven push at the beginning, and with no ultimates to make up for it, the Jewels are sort of coming in with a disadvantage. Scoot does touch the point, and he is just going to be swinging around on the ball, but unfortunately he does go down to Scarecrow. Input name does take out Sinatra without the Bob there, but unfortunately this does not mean that they're going to be able to cap here, especially with the res coming out. Bob is going to be taken out here. Bob hasn't really done something, but it doesn't matter because these Scandals are going to be able to win Busan. Unfortunately, that means that the Jewels have lost this series 3-0 with the Scandals victory.
I really think Busan was the map for Jewels. They really showed much more of what they can do here, and I think it was just a little bit of allowing too much space. Scandals were able to just walk in, kind of, and recap the point, and I don't... it's hard to say. Jewels were making valuable picks, especially input on the Widow and Birdie on the Hanzo. They were getting really strong picks, and those could have been game changers, but I think they were kind of timed in a way that they weren't valuable. So it wasn't able to equalize what had happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know if a lot of that is the fact that that the Jewels were not able to capitalize. I think a lot of it too is that the Scandals just did a really good job of sort of making up for when they did get picked. I think it all really comes down to that communication and their ult management as well. Apparently I've been pronouncing Misha's name wrong. I'm sorry. NA casters. All right, so now that this match is over, it is time for us to think about our MVP. So we'll see some spam in the chat just to see what you guys think as we figure out how to do a voting thing eventually.
All right, there's a vote for Icarus. There's another vote for Miege.
What do you think, Tofu?
Who played
Who are some
Torbjorn
of your
again?
standouts?
Who played Torbjorn again?
I think it was Icarus on the Torb.
Icarus also popped off as a Symmetra, so
Yes.
Icarus was a huge part of their win here.
I think, yeah. If I had to select an MVP here, I would definitely say Icarus. That Symmetra play was just disgusting. It was super fun to watch, and obviously the Torb pick just warms my heart. And obviously we got a lot of spam in chat for Icarus as well. Mostly from the scandals, but I think it's nice that they sort of gave Icarus the chance to shine there. So as we continue wrapping up this match, we would like to interview some of the players from today. So if you're interested in being interviewed, please go into our casting lobby channel on the Discord and we will pull a couple of you in for an interview. This is our third match of the day, or third match of the series, rather, with our third 3-0. So we've got some really crazy matchups right now. But that last map, Busan, I don't think felt as one-sided necessarily as the score indicates. The Jules really did start to get it together there at the end and make the adjustments and sort of have that communication. They capitalized a lot better on Scoot's. I'm trying to figure out how to talk about Wrecking Ball without sounding disgusting. On Scoot's sort of hamster play there. So I think overall they did a really great job, and they are not out of the tournament yet, even though they lost this round. This is a double elimination bracket, so they still do have a chance to shine. It looks like Icarus is in our casting lobby, so we're going to pull him in here. And
I'll do that.
All right, got a few questions. Hi, Icarus.
Hi.
Congratulations on not only winning this match, but also insane MVP play here.
Thanks.
I really love that Torb.
Yeah.
Torb is fun. Torb is underrated.
Yeah,
Torb
very underrated.
He's not even on the radar, but the second he drops, he's a monster.
Absolute monster. So my first question is, you played a lot of off-meta heroes today, including the Sim and the Torb, which if you have heard Tofu and I cast enough, usually we're saying stuff like play Sim, you cowards. Did you have to do a lot of convincing for your team to have them let you play those picks, or were they sort of excited to have this off-meta composition in their matchups?
I think I was more excited just because when I first joined Scandals, I think it was later last year, I was like, oh, this guy plays Symmetra. And it was just fun because working with the teleporter and getting to spots where most people don't usually go is just gives you such good advantages over the other team, I think. And I don't know, people just don't expect it with Sim. And then the TP bombs are definitely fun.
Especially since, the Sim rework, the turrets are insane. The TP can be used for everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, it looked like you were having a lot of fun there, and you were doing a lot. So, great job.
So I've noticed that overall, because you guys have been on this server for a pretty long time, so we've seen you play quite a few times. One of the things that the Scandals always has, they always have really tight communication and teamwork, and you guys are very coordinated.
Right.
So what are some of the tricks that you guys have to sort of make your team this tight and coordinated with each other?
Honestly, I think it's just time. That's the only answer I can give. Because we play so much together, whether it be quick play or comp or arcade or whatever, we're always playing together. Even outside of Overwatch, we'll play other games together. I just started playing Rainbow Six Siege with them. And it's just constantly playing so many games together and just spending that much time together. You understand how everyone works and how to complement each other's play styles. So I honestly think just the answer to that is just having time with each other.
Oh, that's nice. Just sort of having that communication and that synergy. Ah, awesome. All right, Tofu, do you have any more questions for our MVP?
I want to say your team and all, they've kind of been MIA for the past few tournaments. What happened there?
That's just life. One of us had like, work and school and like people are on their last like school year or whatever and just big projects for people. It's just life kind of gets in the way, so we gotta, deal with life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel ya.
We're absolutely thrilled to have you guys back. We miss the scandals.
Heck
I'm
yeah.
glad that you guys are back in the tournament, even though I'm honestly terrified at the prospect of facing you guys. Thank you so much for coming on and interviewing with us. You did an
Thanks for having
amazing
me.
job today. So yeah, take a little while and rest, and we will see you in your next matchup.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. You guys have a good one.
You too, man.
You too.
All right, who do we want to bring in next? Probably have time for like one more interview.
Well, I want to say that we could probably just wrap it up here. Mainly because I think it serves kind of an incentive for the MVPs.
For the MVP.
we want to show that the MVPs really mean something. So
Yeah, that's true.
sorry,
Alright.
sorry teams, but only the MVP gets the interviews. This is a public
rough.
announcement, and yeah.
All right. Well, then we will wrap it up here. Obviously, a fantastic match between the Junkertown Jewels and the Scandals. Super exciting to watch. It was nice to watch a match that wasn't just full goats. So, really great job today for both of our teams. Both of them will still be competing in the tournament. This is not over yet. This is a double elimination tournament, so the Jewels still have a chance to redeem themselves. Our next match is going to be between the Alaskan Anomalies and Apex Legends at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Pacific. Unfortunately, since Tofu and I are anomalies, we are not going to be able to cast, but definitely hope to see you guys there. We will have some amazing casters in our stead, although they will never be as amazing as us. So come watch that matchup. Should be extremely entertaining. And as I said before, we still do have a lot of matches in the future. This tournament does go on for 2 weeks. So we still have matches tomorrow at 3, 6, and 9 Eastern Time. And then we will continue to have matches next weekend as well. So I hope you guys all join us. If you're not in our Discord server yet, join it already and come bring some teams in and join our next tournament. We would love to have you. Anything else to add, Tofu?
Thank you, everyone, for watching. It's been amazing for all our fans.
Our
No, really,
fans specifically.
you guys really make the server what it is right now. The community is great, and thanks all for participating.
And no need to get sappy there, Tofu. All
Gotta
right,
be
thank you
sappy.
guys so much for coming. It was a great match today. I'm hype. I'm excited for the one at 9. We will see you all there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.